I get something wrong with them. Okay, so what we're covering now is installment loans, and we're figuring out monthly payment allocation. And so basically what that is how much goes to principal and how much goes to interest. Okay? So repayment schedule, if you go through your handout, you're going to see several payments. It's going to break the payments down. It's going to break down the principal, it's going to break down the interest, and then what happens with the balance is the balance slowly goes down. So some of these formulas don't change. Principal times rate times time equals interest, and then taking our monthly payment, subtracting the interest, what's left over, that payment goes to principal, so it's reducing the balance. So the previous payment minus the payment to principal, new principal. A new principal is the amount that you're borrowing. So in this first example, the loan's $1,800, it's 6 months, it's 8%, the payment is $307.08, okay? So in this problem, it asks us, first thing is figure out what the first month's interest is. So we take the 1,800, we times it by 0.08, and we times it 1 over 12. Someone tell me why it's 1 over 12. Yeah, and we're figuring out the monthly amount. So we've got to take that annual amount of this right here and break it down monthly. So when we do that, we get $12. So what we just answered is that the interest is $12. So now we take the payment of $307.08, we subtract the $12, and $295.08 is what's being paid to principal. Okay? So in this case, we take the 1,800, we subtract $295.08, and their new balance, what they would owe, would be $1,504.92. Any questions? So we're literally breaking down. There's only two things in a payment. There's interest, there's principal. We're concerned about that principal because that principal lowers the balance. Now, notice something. Every single time a payment is made, this is happening. So that balance is going down. Okay? So you have to keep running calculations. And you'll see that in this section. That you have to answer one question at a time to get that balance move forward to the next number. Okay, the next example, we have a $6,000 loan, 8% interest, 64 months. The payment is $187.80. And it's also telling us the balance at 20 payments is $2849.08. So, first thing it's asking us in the question is how much is the first month's interest? So they borrowed $6,000. It's at 8%. We're figuring out what the monthly interest is. After multiplying this, we get $40. Now let's talk about this for a minute. The way this goes with the calculator, 6,000 times 0.08 times 1 divided by 12. Okay? That's all a fraction is, right? Is division. So, $40 is what the interest is. Now, we take this same $40 and we subtract it from the $187.80. That's going to be $147.80 is what is lowering the principal. So we take that amount and subtract it from the 6,000, and that would be our new balance. Any questions so far? Now we fast forward in this loan, and it says the 21st payment that the balance is $2849.08. Now understand, this number right here, anytime we're subtracting that payment after the payment's made, that new balance is what we're using moving forward. Is that clear? It's a running number. Okay, so we take the balance of what it's telling us, $2849.08 times 0.08 times 1 divided by 12 is $18.99. Now I want to show you something. Here's the first payment, right? Here's the 21st payment. You see what's happening?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Even though this is the same payment, more is towards interest and less as we further along as we get a loan. Remember the schedule that I showed you? The most loans are front-loaded with interest, and as you get further in the term, you're paying less and less interest, and the bank makes their money up front. So we take this $1889, we subtract it from the payment, the $187.80. This gives us $168.81. We're going to take the previous balance, and we're going to subtract the amount going to principal. Okay? So a payment has two things in it. It has principal and it has interest. We have to figure out what that interest is to know how much we subtract from principal. So in doing that, the 1889 subtracted by the 187.80, we get 168.81. Then we take this and subtract it from the 2849.08. This gives us our new balance. So guess what? If we this was what, the 21st payment? If we were to go and figure out the 22nd payment, we're going to start with this number. We're going to start with this number, multiply it by 0.08, 1 over 12, and we're going to get our new interest. Then we're going to subtract it and see how it just keeps going. If you notice in your handout, you have a schedule right here. Now that's a complete schedule, but this one you're going to have to fill out on your own, right? You have to figure out what the balance is. Now this first payment figured it out for you. It said what the interest is, said what the principal was. You're going to take that amount, you're going to subtract that, and you're going to use that number. Now that number moving forward, we're going to use again. That's going to be our interest. Now, notice it tells us the interest here. But you can check your calculation, make sure that it's right. Then you're going to take that interest, subtract it from the payment. The payment's right there. That's how much is going to go to principal. And then you're going to subtract A from B. And it's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going until you finish the loan to the 12th payment. Make sense? You have to do it in line. If you don't do it in line, there's no way for you to run the... You can make calculations, you're just not going to have the right calculations. Okay? So, let's go through this one more time so it's understood. So, the 21st payment, it's telling us the balance is $2849.08. So, we're taking that balance, multiplying it by 8%, dividing 1 over 12. This is our interest. We're taking our payment, the $187.80, subtracting the $18.90. This is how much is going to principal, okay? So we're going to take these two numbers and we're going to subtract them from each other. This is my new balance forward. Now this number gets replaced here, and it just keeps going. It keeps going until it's paid off. Make sense? I will tell you something. I know the lecture in 8.3 was kind of long, but I was somewhat impressed because 8.6 is the hardest part of the lesson, and chapter 8 is the hardest chapter, and we're progressing through it quite well so far. There hasn't been really a whole lot of issues. Yes, is there more math? Yes, there's more math. But the thing is, it keeps building upon itself. So, monthly allocation is important in regards to figuring out, you know, how much is due, how much is applied to the principal, and so on. This is something when you have a car loan or a home loan or any type of money that you're borrowing, you want to be on top of your finances and knowing what that is, right? So you can keep running those balances. Okay, so we're going to be finishing up 8.4 on Tuesday. And we are actually, ooh, okay. See, we have spring break the following week. We're going to be getting through 8.5 installment loans. And then we're going to get into 8.6.
When we come back.
Yeah, you guys are going to come back and have chapter 8 test. So,
Like that?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, because you're going to be finishing the lecture on Monday on 8.6, and then we'll review for a day, and then you guys will go into the test.
Don't we have spring break next week?
I'm sorry? Yes.
You're going to record the video for 8.6?
Yes. And I'll put it up Friday, or we'll put it up Friday. Okay, is there any questions on this? Is there any part you need to go through again? Really, the only thing that's new is breaking up the payment and what it is. That's it.
Part that if you can't go over is just this part right here.
Which is that's what I just went over. That's the same thing as here. That's
Oh, is it?
yeah. That table is just constantly moving forward. You have to run all those calculations to use it. It's giving you some of the answers, but notice it gives you no answers as you progress through it. As you progress through it, it's the same exact steps. It's taking the balance, multiplying by the interest and the time, getting your interest, subtracting from the payment. The payment doesn't change. The payment is the same amount every single month. So subtract your interest from it, get how much is principal, reduce your loan balance, use that number moving forward to the next payment. Okay? All right. Good talk.